Hello, what's up? Ali here, and throughout this video, I will guide you step by step on how to fix non-working PS4 games. We'll go through all common issues that we may encounter that is keeping us from playing our games. By the way, on this video, we'll cover non-working FPKGs, but we'll also address some issues that you may encounter on physical and retail digital copies of the game. So be sure to stick around until the end of our video. So let us go ahead with the video and start with the most basic fix, not just with games, but with your jailbreak as a whole. If you're having issues with your PS4 getting games to work, or having a very bad activation success rate where you are always greeted with a kernel panic or any issues, always update your Goldhen first. This will not just improve your activation success rate, but will also address some issues regarding your apps and games not working properly or not working at all. We can update our host in our browser, but we have to make sure that we are connected online first. And while we're at it, let us also address one of the most frequent questions that we have received from our past videos. How do we protect our PS4 from updating when going online? Since there are some cases that we have to connect online to address some issues on our PS4, so how do we prevent it from updating? First, we can use a specific DNS by going to the network settings, set up internet connection, use whatever connections that you are using, choose custom, choose automatic on the IP address settings, do not specify, and here on the DNS settings, choose manual, and use this primary and secondary DNS. You may find these DNS settings on our description, then go ahead and press next. MTU settings automatic, do not use, and test your internet connection. You should get a success on your internet connection, otherwise you won't be able to update your host. So you have to make sure that you are properly connected first before we can proceed on the video. This DNS will block all updates coming from Sony, but it will not save you from manual updates. So in case some gremlins sneak up on your PS4 and accidentally update your PS4, unfortunately this won't be enough to save your PS4. And to thoroughly prevent any updates, we have to use an update blocker. To block the updates, go back to your web host and look for the tab Disable Updates. You can use this either before or after you update your host. But if you don't see this on your current host, then just go ahead and update your host first, then disable your updates later. Now let us go ahead and update our host. And to update the host, press Option on your controller, choose Close Window, then press Option again, choose Delete All, back to Option, Settings, delete cookies, and clear website data. Here we can use our previous host or use a new host. Either way, we are updating our Goldhen and resetting our host. And here on the enter URL, we can enter the address of the host that we are going to use. But here on 9.0 with the latest Goldhen, I still recommend this host that I'm currently using. And here use the right tab. Then choose the light host for a better success rate for your jailbreak. Once the cache has been completed, you may now go ahead and use any payload that you desire, but let's go ahead and choose Disable Update first. Now, after the updates has been disabled, you can rest assured that there will be no updates that will occur on your PS4 until you enable your updates by choosing this tab or this option. Now, once we are done here, you may go ahead and reset again your host and choose the Auto Host Exploit menu for the best possible result every time you activate your jailbreak. And actually, since I always use the Auto Host installer, I will go ahead and reset back to Auto Host Exploit menu. And here on the auto exploit menu, go ahead and choose the auto lethal version 5.0 for the latest Goldhen version. Updating the host will make sure we are on the right Goldhen version to be able to load all existing FPKGs and fix some games that is stuck on the black loading screen. And it will also fix some games with this error code CE30391-6. This is caused by a dead CMOS battery, but updating to the latest Goldhen or at least Goldhen 2.0 will definitely fix this error. But if you are unable to load your Goldhen and reset your host, check your firmware version. You may have updated your PS4. Updating your PS4 is like saying goodbye to all of your FPKGs. To check that, go to your settings, then system information. So if you are getting any errors on your PS4, as long as it stays to 9.0, there is always a workaround to fix the issue. But if you see here on the system firmware 10.50 or any higher version, unfortunately there is no fix for that. At least not a cheap one. Though there are some downgrading services available now on the PS4, but they don't have a sure shot process unless you were able to make a backup of your previous firmware before it was updated, which also requires some hardcore technical skills. Now let us proceed to the next issue. If you have updated your host or your Goldhen but still having a black screen issue, then you may have failed to install the update and or the backport of the game. Though most backports are already merged with the update, so you'll just have to make sure you download the right update that matches your base game, but still have the effort to make sure that it contains the backport version that you need. Say for example, you are on 6.72 and this Dead Island 2. To get this game to work on your version, you have to install the base game and the update containing the backport for 6.72. If you have installed the base game and the update and you are still getting an error, check the version of the game and see if you have actually updated or installed the right version, or you may have downloaded the wrong version. Now press Option on the game, then click on Information. Here on the version, you'll see here that it is still on 1.00. That means that I have yet to install the update and the backport of this game. So if I go ahead and launch this game, I will get this error. This means that I don't have the backport version to get this game to work. So just a quick explanation, what is this backport? Since all games requires a specific version for it to work, and the jailbreak version stopped on 9.0, all upcoming games will require a backport to work. Since this Dead Island requires a version of at least 10.0 to work, to get this to work on 9.0 and lower, we need a backport to get this working. Like also this another game here, Hogwarts Legacy. If I go ahead and load this one, I will get the same issue or the same error because this game don't have the required backport or the update for it to work. Now what we need to get this game to work is just make sure to download and install the proper update and the backport of this game. Now before we do that, we have to check the region of this game and make sure that we download the update and the backport that will match the region of our base game. To do that, we need an application called the Items Flow. And the easiest way to download or get the Items Flow is through the Homebrew Store. Since we may be needing some applications, then we may just go ahead and download the Homebrew Store. And from here, we can download the rest of the applications that we may need. So I will just leave a link on our description for a complete overview for this Homebrew Store and how and where to install it. Now, once you have downloaded the Homebrew Store, run the application, then go to the Store Groups, then Utility, then look for the Items Flow Manager or whatever application that you may need. Then just choose that application and choose Download and Install. And since I already have this, I only have the option update now, but let's just go ahead and run this application. Now here in the items flow manager, you will see here the title and the region of the game. So for example, this God of War Ragnarok, the region of my game is CUSA 34390. Now let us go ahead and highlight our Dead Island 2. Now for our Dead Island 2, our region is CUSA 27043. So make sure that if you are going to download and install an update for this game, make sure that it will match our region, which is a CUSA 27043. Now for our Hogwarts Legacy, that is CUSA 12771. Again, make sure that you download and install an update that will match the base game. Now, if you have the FPKG and you haven't installed it yet, to check the FPKG, we need an application called the PS4 PKG Viewer. I will just leave a link on our description where to download this application. So just open the link and click on this area to download the application. Now, once we have downloaded the application, we can use that to view the details of the FPKG. So this is the region that we have to check if we are going to download and install an update and backport for this game. Now going back on the PS4, once we have downloaded all of the necessary files, we can go ahead and install them here on the settings, Goldhen, debug settings, and package installer. And here on the package installer, we can go ahead and install all of our files in our storage. Just go ahead and check here on the package source, all or USB or whatever source you are using to install your files. So in my case, I'll go ahead and use USB since they are saved on my external hard drive. Then I'll go to the package installer and I'll just go ahead and install all. This will install my backport and all of the available DLC for the game to work. All you need is the backport. I'm just installing the DLC as part of the whole package of the game. Now, after we have installed all of the files needed, we can now go ahead and check our game to see if they will work. Alright, you will now see that both games can now work with no issues at all. Now, just for verification, we can go ahead and check the application and see what version that we have installed on our PS4. You see here now that we are on the version 1.03 for the Hogwarts Legacy and also 1.03 for the Dead Island 2. Now that is for the games that don't have the right update or the backport. Now let us say that you are having an issue with the installation of the game itself. If you are getting an error while installing the game, that simply means that you have a bad download or broken download. Just go ahead and re-download your base game or whatever files that you are having some issues installing. But as long as you have downloaded the whole game and all of the patch and update, it should work properly. So just go ahead and confirm the version of your game here on the game information and make sure that you have properly installed the base game and all of the required updates and backport. Now, let's say, for example, you are having some issues with the consistency of the installation. If the installation stops on a specific percentage of the game, that means that you have an issue with the FPKG itself. If it's randomly stopping on a different percentage, that means that you have an issue with your USB port. or your external hard drive. Try using a different USB port of your PS4 or use a different external hard drive or enclosure to install your games. Or you may just go ahead and install them using a remote PKG installer. I will just go ahead and leave a link on our description on our video how to transfer files remotely using network. Now let us go ahead and address issues that we may encounter on retail disc or digital copies of your games. Now going to our physical copies of the games, if a specific game is not working, then the problem is with the game. You may go ahead and clean the disc and try it again. But if all games are not working, then you have an issue with your Blu-ray drive. On that case, you may just go ahead and bring your PS4 to a technician to have it replaced or cleaned. Unfortunately, on that case, you don't have any software fix. You'll have to have your Blu-ray drive repaired for you to be able to play your physical games. Now, for your digital games, let's say, for example, this Wall of Fallen Dynasty. I have here the lock icon because this game is locked on my specific PSN account. For me to be able to use this, I'll have to either activate that PSN account or use that PSN account to access this game. Now, if you have already switched to that PSN account and the game is still not working, you'll have to connect your PS4 first to your internet connection and make sure you are connected to the PSN. Now, if you have switched to that PSN account and you are already connected to the PSN and the game is still not accessible, you may have to activate or restore the licenses of your PSN account. To do that, go to the settings, account management, and restore licenses. This will restore the licenses of your PSN account. Now, if you have done everything and still the game is not working, then it's time for you to check the status of the PSN network. To do that, go to the network and view status of the PlayStation Network services. You will see here the status of the PSN, and sometimes the PSN goes into a maintenance that will affect some of the games or its services. On that cases, all you have to do is just wait for the maintenance to be over. So this will be it on our video. In case you are still having some issues with your games, either FPKGs or digital or physical games, you may go ahead and share them on our comment section and I will definitely address them. And again, this is Ali. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will definitely see you on our next video. Bye-bye.